Hey everybody, Jill from for the Ages. I'm going to do a quick PSA. I'm going to tell you why afterwards, but let me give you the PSA first in case you're short on time. Um, if you believe that someone is in trouble or is having an emergency or a medical emergency or something is happening where you can't go to them physically and make sure that they're okay, it is perfectly reasonable to call the police and at the very least have them do a wellness check. Basically, you can give them you can call dispatch, call 911 and say, "Hey, can you do a wellness check or something? I believe X, Y, or Z is going on." It's something that they do all the time, and I know that for a fact because I have a family member who is retired law enforcement, and he said those were the greatest calls, the wellness checks, because they're all dispatched out. They're all going out on calls, and it's usually somebody's dead or somebody's dying or there's parts everywhere or there's people yelling at each other. The wellness checks are the greatest things because they go to the wellness check, they make contact, they open the door, and most of the time, everything's okay. And they love those calls because those are the nice, peaceful, quiet calls. And so I don't want you to be afraid of calling the police and say, hey, can you do a wellness check? Or, hey, I think something's going on here. Because let's say 9 times out of 10, everything's fine. Yay, the police are like, yay, I went on a call, it was nothing. Yoo-hoo. But that 10th time, somebody might be really in trouble and they might really need help. So I just don't want you to be afraid of calling the police for a wellness check. Do you get me? And the reason I say that is because there was somebody doing a live chat and then doing a live stream, and somebody was on the chat, and they started to have sentences or phrases that they were in trouble. They were medically, physically in trouble. And I'm not going to say what the live stream was or what the side chat or even the person, but people were like, "Oh, you're going to have to dial 911 yourself. We don't know where you are. We don't know that." And then the person gave the number, their street name, and the number and the street name, and she was in somewhere. And she didn't give the town, she didn't give the province or state, she didn't give the country because this is all over the world, World Wide Web. And they couldn't track her down. They were like, no, we're not going to call the cops. You call and she's like, I can't get to my phone. Can't breathe. I can't get to my phone. And they were like, okay, well, we're going to end the live stream now. Bye. Okay. So what I did was I did a little sleuthing and I looked up that address she gave me, no, the address she gave us. And it was a unique enough address that it focused it down to one town in one province in one country, and it wasn't even my country. So I looked up, got on the internet, the power of the internet, looked up the emergency number for that town, and I got a hold of somebody, and I said, hey, don't know, here's what I got. And so basically, I gave them all the information I had, which is on the side chat. Somebody all of a sudden said they can't breathe, and I gave them the rundown of what they said, and I gave them what I had, and I said, even if it's nothing, here you go. And they said, so thank you very much for calling. We do have a that address, and it is the kind of building that it was, and they're gonna send police and fire out right away. Oh, good. I was like, okay, thank you. I gave him my name and I gave him my number. I said, I'm calling from Massachusetts. There you go. He was very nice. He was very calm, and I'm glad that they're just going to go out and check it out. And again, going back to the beginning, I called. They like those. They like because 9 times out of 10, everything's okay. And that is that 10th time they get to save someone. So it's something that I want you to come away from this short PSA discussion You don't be afraid to call the police, especially on wellness checks. Your mom hasn't answered the phone, that she hasn't answered the phone in 3 days. And nobody's around. You can call the police and have them go knock on her door and see if she's okay. Hey, it's your son, your daughter is okay. Yeah, they were worried about you. Oh, you had your phone off. Or what my mother did was she would, when she finished the call on the phone, on the cordless phone, she'd put the phone down, shoo, and she wouldn't hang up the phone, and nobody could call in. And so it was nice if I was way far away that I could call and ask them to do a wellness check because I couldn't get a hold of them on the phone. And of course, they would go and they would investigate, and they say, "Oh yeah, you didn't hang up the phone." And so that's an example, a personal example of what I used to do 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years ago. I would do that and call and, "Hey, can you do a wellness check?" And they would respond. So I'm glad that I called. Glad that they were going to send police and fire. They didn't even do a wellness check. They're going to send police and fire. And I hope she's okay. And, if it's a prank, then they're going to go show up and everything's going to be fine. But if not, they're going to show up and they're going to help. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if police are just like us. They have good days and bad days, and sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're grumpy. They're there to protect and serve and to help. So if you genuinely think something's up, they're more than happy to go out and check it out and see what's going on. So that's my PSA. Wellness checks are okay. Wellness checks are a thing. I hope that in the future if you're genuinely concerned for somebody's health and well-being, that you'll at least, and you can't get there on your own, that you'll get the police to just drive out and knock on the door and make contact and make sure everything's okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being my therapist. Um, and I hope that lady's okay. All right. Okay. Take care. Hope this finds you well.